Hey guys, Dr. John Russin back with the third episode of the Sunday Questions. I apologize that this isn't coming out until Monday afternoon, but again, it was Mother's Day yesterday. I'm sure you were all out celebrating with your moms and wives. I know I was. And we only had a couple questions come through yesterday. We had another couple today, so we have some good ones getting in. I just want to wish my mom and my wife, Lindsay, a happy Mother's Day before we get started. But let's jump right into these questions because we had some really great training questions again because I know I requested some of those. The first one is coming from Ryan Marshall, who is currently on my muscle prescription program doing awesome things. And he's upset that people are using big words in the questions. That's kind of funny. But he said, I want to know if there's any downside to fasted cardio. So this is a really hot topic, especially when it comes to aesthetics training and bodybuilding, because the last 50, 100 years, everyone's been going with the old school bro methods doing fasted cardio, especially in the morning. So what is fasted cardio? Simply put, you wake up, you only ingest non-caloric beverages, and you go straight into your cardio. So water, coffee, unsweetened without milk, go into your cardio. And the thought is that you'd actually burn off more fat stores during that fasted cardio than if you ate something before. But last year there's a really good research article that came out that actually debunked fasted cardio for the most part. But again, that's one research study. So it's one of those things that if somebody wants to train early on in the morning and they have the time to do fasted cardio, go ahead, go and do it. Recommendation that I make is if you use some sort of supplementation during that cardio session, if you don't use anything before, so a BCAA would be probably recommended. But guys, for 99% of the population, you can eat before cardio. It's not going to make any difference. Next question here. We have Joaco Diaz. I definitely fucked up that name. Sorry, man. What do you think about Stuart MacGill's studies and stop using any kind of lumbar flexion exercises? So Dr. Stuart MacGill is one of my biggest mentors. He's a brilliant spine biomechanist out in Canada. He's been doing it for 35 years. He's the gold standard researcher when it comes to spinal health and performance. So if you guys aren't familiar with Dr. MacGill's stance, he really isn't a big fan of any loaded spinal flexion. And because I am somewhat of a disciple of Dr. MacGill, I do agree to an extent. But there are times and places where I will put spinal flexion into my programs, especially like a physio ball controlled crunch. We also use some pull down exercises with a band or a cable rack pulling down into spinal flexion. But anytime that we do program any spinal flexion for ab exercises, it's always with the slow and controlled execution. So we're not going crazy, we're not going with huge loads, but we're controlling the flex and then coming out into an extension. So yes, I do them, but on the other side of things, deadlifting with a heavy spinal rounding, that's a no-go. Squatting with poor biomechanics at the spine into flexion, that's a no-go as well. So it's all relative to the loads and then the compound movements that you're using. But yes, we do use them, but we are really cognizant of having perfect form and execution on them. Last question here. We have Joe Green again, who is on my FHT program. Thanks, Joe. What are the hypertrophic benefits? Oh, the hypertrophic benefits. I can't talk, it's Monday. To BFR, blood flow restriction, curls and tri extensions at the end of the FHT workout, as opposed to doing straight sets of either curls or extensions. So Joe's on my FHT program right now, and in the secondary upper body day, so it's day 4 of the day 5 program, I go in and we use blood flow restriction training, which is literally putting a cuff or a band up around the upper arms here at about a 7 out of 10 perceived tightness, and we do this killer superset of extensions and dumbbell curls just to make sure that we get a little bit of direct arm training in, because who doesn't want to do more direct arm training? But because FHT is more of a functional strength program and hypertrophy, we aren't really doing bodybuilding splits. So that would be the big difference there, Joe, is that we want to directly train the arms, but the big focus is on hypertrophy. So we're using big compound movement patterns on top of the direct arm work. But it wouldn't be a drjohnrussin.com program without some direct arm work. So I think getting the best out of everything is using the BFR techniques and really just making sure that we get some sort of direct arm training in so we can have some hypertrophy benefit. But interestingly enough, I had an email come through a couple days ago from one of my clients who just finished up with FHT, and he went 12 weeks through. He had the BFR training all 12 weeks, and he actually increased his upper arm size about 3/4 of an inch. So it just goes to show that you don't need a specialty arm day to get jacked arms. So that's just one person out of the many doing it, but those are some pretty good testimonials there. Guys, this was another great session. Make sure to go over to our YouTube channel, hit up the subscribe button, and subscribe to our channel because we have exclusive videos coming out. I think we just dumped another 25 exclusive videos into our channel. We're up to about 720 videos that are all training, prehab, rehab, physical therapy. Check that out, and we will be back next Sunday for another episode of the Sunday Questions. Thanks, guys.